stool. Almost took Justin out in the second round. It looked like he had really tried to finish Justin, and then Justin started landing bombs in the third round. Ilia had slowed down quite a bit. Justin had him down with his two hands and just smashed a knee into his rib cage. You could see him go like that, and that was the end of the round. The end of the fourth round, Ilia quit on his stool. Both of his eyes were swollen shut. His nose was f***ed up. He'd taken so many punches to the face. That was the greatest fight of all time. You know, I'm a giant Ilia Topuria fan as well, and I think he'll be back better than ever. And I think sometimes a loss is like one of the most important things a fighter can ever have, because they realize like you can be beat, and you need to know that you're a human. You need to know that you can't just throw caution to the wind sometimes. You just engage in these wild scraps. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more tactical. Sometimes you got to realize like you can't take everybody out, and that's the case with Justin. He couldn't take him out, and he almost did in the second round. Got real fucking close. Real
few moments in MMA generate as much controversy as a referee stopping a fight. One side argues that competitors should be given every possible opportunity to continue, while the other believes officials must intervene when a fighter is no longer capable of protecting himself effectively. That familiar debate has returned following Ilia Topuria's difficult defeat, with viewers still arguing over whether the action should have been allowed to continue or whether the referee made the correct call. Comments and reactions from Topuria's corner have only intensified the discussion.
That's when he reacted, and he must have said no more.
I mean, he wanted to continue to fight, let the guy go. So he sits in the corner, tells his cornerman he can't see. And then he's got the doctor doing the eye test, and the doctor's saying no. It's like, oh, this fight's fucking over. But then they let him continue. But I don't know who threw in the towel in the fourth. It's almost like Goddard said, the fight's fucking over.
No, his brother said we're going to keep fighting, and then he looked into his brother's eyes, and then he waved it off.
Ilia literally could have walked off and been champ. If Ilia, when he hit him with that liver shot and Gaethje kind of went down, if he would have walked off, the ref would have stopped that fight. If you get hit with those liver shots and you kind of cramp up, you can't just get up. You kind of just are there for a sec. So if he walked off and Gaethje's just laying there, maybe the ref tries to stand him up or whatever, but...
When a fighter steps away while the opponent remains on the ground, the referee may need to pause the action, evaluate the situation, and determine whether the contest should continue. These situations often become highly emotional because elite competitors rarely want to hear the fight has been stopped. Even when they appear to be in serious trouble, many still believe one well-placed strike could completely change the momentum. That refusal to surrender is a defining characteristic of high-level fighters, and their willingness to keep fighting through difficult moments is part of what separates them from ordinary competitors.
We just witnessed probably the greatest fight of this year. Ilia Topuria taking on Justin Gaethje. Now I'm gonna start off right here. I was one who picked against Justin Gaethje. When you look at Justin Gaethje's previous fights, when he's fought Dustin Poirier, when he's fought Charles Oliveira, when he's fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, when he's fought Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje gets dropped. He gets dropped and he gets finished. I mean, that's something that we've seen time and time again in his career. And what would make no different when he's fighting a guy like Ilia Topuria, where Ilia Topuria, what he does is he puts people to sleep. Max Holloway puts him to sleep. Charles Oliveira puts him to sleep. Alex Volkanovski got put to sleep. And you guys might hate me for this, but the best thing Justin Gaethje can do is retire. He should retire on this amazing victory against a legend like Ilia Topuria. I mean, I keep saying Ilia Topuria's a legend. He's still young in his career, but he's a phenomenal athlete. You retire on top. You save your brain cells. You ride off in a sunset. You beat one of the best athletes. You gave him his first fucking defeat right away with the White House belt and the undisputed lightweight.
The mindset that helps fighters pursue championship success can also make them unwilling to accept defeat, even when fatigue begins taking its toll. In the Topuria-Gaether matchup, many observers believed Gaether's sustained pressure gradually allowed him to take control of the contest. Rather than giving Topuria the opportunity to settle into his preferred rhythm, Gaether continually created new exchanges, mixed up his attacks, and kept the intensity high. As the rounds passed, that consistency allowed him to build momentum and increasingly dictate the direction of the fight.
I'm not saying he cheated or anything. I'm just saying, I guarantee you don't want to go into battle thinking, had this huge fight with my wife. You don't want any of those thoughts in your head before a fight.
I mean, Ilia Topuria, in previous fights, you could tell he always had like his family, his wife, his kids. I just watched a documentary that came out on Ilia Topuria, and he was just talking about how much he loved his girl. And that could have been his fault that they got a divorce. I wonder how much that had to do with everything.
It had everything to do with everything. It's all connected.
Yeah, Ilia's in the hospital. He's busted up. You know, I'm not a doctor, but his eye looked like he probably has broken orbital. I don't know that's not a fact, but I'm just assuming. And my plans for him are to go home and rest and recover and take his time. And tonight was a rough night for him. I just want to make sure he's healthy and good, and not even thinking about him fighting again. Just want him to go home and relax and rest.
As the fight moved into the later rounds, the punishment Topuria had absorbed became increasingly difficult to ignore. Many observers began questioning whether he still had a realistic chance of turning the contest around. That is exactly where the debate over the stoppage becomes more complicated. The central questions remain difficult to answer. How much time should a fighter be given to recover when he is struggling? And when does the referee have a responsibility to step in because effective defense is no longer possible? Those issues continue to fuel the discussion surrounding the fight and the decision to bring the contest to an end.
What was going to happen to him? Walking forward with their hands down on the opening bell, you're going to get walloped.
People saying I'm juiced, what a compliment. People saying I got bricks in my fucking gloves, what a compliment.
Do you see the picture, the image? There's like rocks in his hands.
What a compliment.
Have they not watched any of his fights?
As ambitious as you are, you can never make everybody happy.
No.
That's why it's hard to be a champion.
Which sucks.
The pressure.
You know for a fact, you do not ever as a fighter say, I cannot see. It's over.
Right.
And he was counting on that. He said he had already stated it. He didn't need to say it again. I stopped him twice. That night. There's no...
Facial injuries and vision-related problems can affect much more than a fighter's physical condition. They can disrupt training, timing, preparation, and even the confidence required to compete against elite opponents. Returning before the body is fully ready could create further complications, making patience an important part of Topuria's recovery. Despite the setback, many believe this period could eventually become one of the most significant chapters of his career. MMA has repeatedly shown examples of champions who suffered major defeats, learned from those experiences, made adjustments, and returned as more complete fighters. Now, attention shifts toward Topuria's next decision. He could eventually return against another elite opponent, spend additional time recovering, or use the experience as an opportunity to improve different areas of his game. Whatever path he chooses, interest in his career has not faded. If anything, fans are now even more interested in seeing how he responds. When Topuria finally steps back into the octagon, the focus will extend beyond simply whether he wins or loses. Fans will be watching to discover what kind of fighter emerges after experiencing this level of adversity.
Physically, now I don't know what the truth is, but all these reports are that he has 2 fractured orbitals and a broken nose. Just that alone, just the orbitals alone, like anytime you've got eye injuries, like anything severe with your eyes, long-term consequences vary.
It's psychological.
Absolutely.
And
your
physical.
body heals.
And physical.
The body is resilient.
I'm telling you,
broken bones make stronger bones. Like that is his orbital bones will be stronger.
It depends on where, though, Justin. The orbital bone, I had my orbital broken, and for 6 months, I do this and my tooth would move. And it's right where my sinus cavity is. You remember when you hit me with the spinning elbow?
Your tooth would move?
Dude,
when you push
right
on
here,
your cheek?
And my tooth would move.
Oh, God.
I still feel the soft spot, but this is a very weak area where your sinus cavity is. And you broke both orbitals. And
this argument has been part of combat sports for decades, and there is still no universally accepted answer for exactly when a referee should intervene and end a fight. Many coaches and analysts believe the long-term health of the athlete should outweigh the desire to keep competing, even when the fighter strongly wants to continue in the moment. There have also been situations where competitors later recognized that an earlier stoppage may have prevented more serious damage. Because of that, the discussion surrounding Topuria has gradually shifted beyond the result of the fight itself. The focus is now increasingly on his recovery, rehabilitation, and the process of rebuilding his confidence after such a physically demanding contest.